What truly happened during the 3 days between Jesus' death and resurrection? Where did he go during this enigmatic period? These questions have sparked intrigue among theologians, believers, and historians for centuries. Using the Gospels and theological traditions as a foundation, we aim to shed light on this profound mystery. As recorded in the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, Jesus was crucified and hung on the cross for approximately 6 hours before he uttered the pivotal words, "It is finished." In John 19:30, it is written that he bowed his head and gave up his spirit. Following his death, his body was carefully removed from the cross, wrapped in linen by Joseph of Arimathea, with the assistance of Nicodemus, and placed in a sealed tomb. 3 days later, something extraordinary occurred. Jesus rose from the dead. His body and spirit were reunited, and he first appeared to Mary Magdalene, followed by his disciples. After these appearances, he ascended into heaven, fulfilling his promise of victory over death. But during those 3 days, where was he? What was he doing? Although the Synoptic Gospels do not provide explicit details about this interval, early Christian traditions and theological interpretations suggest that Jesus descended into Hades, an event referred to as the harrowing of hell or descent into hell. This doctrine, rooted in early Christian belief, implies that Jesus proclaimed freedom to the souls held captive. The Gospels emphasize the crucifixion and resurrection, offering little insight into the events of the 3 days in between. However, theologians view this period as vital to the redemptive narrative. Did Jesus truly descend into Hades? Was he preparing the final victory over sin and death? In this episode, we delve into these questions, unraveling the clues and exploring the significance of this divine enigma. One of the clearest indications of where Jesus may have been during the 3 days following his death comes from his own words on the cross. As recorded in the Gospel of Luke, Jesus was crucified alongside 2 thieves. One of them, in a moment of faith, asked Jesus to remember him when he entered his kingdom, Luke 23:42. To this, Jesus responded, "Truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise." This statement suggests that after his death, Jesus went to paradise, which is often understood as heaven. The promise aligns with his final declaration, committing his spirit into the hands of God. Heaven, the dwelling place of eternal bliss and divine love, seems a natural destination for Jesus' spirit after his earthly life. However, another intriguing account of Jesus' actions during these 3 days is found in 1 Peter 3:18-20. This passage states, "For Christ also suffered once for sins, the righteous for the unrighteous, to bring you to God. He was put to death in the body, but made alive in the spirit. After being made alive, he went and made proclamation to the imprisoned spirits, to those who were disobedient long ago when God waited patiently in the days of Noah while the ark was being built." This revelation opens up a different perspective. It suggests that Jesus, after his death, visited a realm where spirits were held captive, those who had been disobedient in ancient times, particularly during the era of Noah. The idea of Jesus proclaiming to these imprisoned spirits is often interpreted as a declaration of his victory over sin and death, fulfilling God's redemptive plan. The passage from 1 Peter offers 2 possible interpretations. One view suggests that Jesus descended into Hades, a realm of the dead, to announce salvation to the righteous who had awaited him. Another perspective is that this was a proclamation of judgment upon the disobedient spirits, affirming his authority as the victorious Messiah. Together, these accounts provide a glimpse into the multifaceted nature of Jesus' mission during the 3 days between his death and resurrection. Was he in paradise, Hades, or both? The narratives invite us to reflect on the profound spiritual work accomplished in this mysterious and transformative period. One interpretation of 1 Peter 3:18-20 suggests that Jesus, during the 3 days between his death and resurrection, descended into hell or Hades to deliver a message to imprisoned spirits. These spirits could be demonic entities, fallen angels, or even disobedient humans from ancient times. Most scholars lean toward the idea that these spirits were fallen angels who had rebelled against God, led astray by Lucifer. Their rebellion likely occurred before Noah's time, as the passage references the flood. The nature of Jesus' message to these spirits remains unclear. However, it is unlikely to have been one of redemption, as Hebrews 2:16 states that salvation is not available to angels. Instead, Jesus' proclamation is often understood as a declaration of his victory. This aligns with the belief that Jesus descended to the depths of hell to announce his triumph over Satan, sin, and death. By doing so, he reaffirmed his authority and the fulfillment of God's plan for salvation. Another key passage offering insight into Jesus' activities during this time is found in Ephesians 4:8-10. When he ascended on high, he took many captives and gave gifts to his people. What does he ascended mean, except that he also descended to the lower, earthly regions? He who descended is the very one who ascended higher than all the heavens in order to fill the whole universe. This passage, which echoes Psalm 68:18, suggests that Jesus descended to a realm referred to as the lower earthly regions. The phrase implies that Jesus not only proclaimed his victory, but also liberated captives, perhaps the righteous who had awaited redemption in a place like Abraham's bosom, a concept rooted in Jewish tradition. In this view, Jesus' descent had dual purposes: to announce his triumph over the forces of darkness and to deliver those who had been faithful to God. His subsequent ascension to heaven, taking captives with him, represents the ultimate fulfillment of his mission. He bridged the gap between humanity and God, conquering death and opening the way for eternal life. The interplay between these passages provides a powerful image of Jesus as a conquering king, declaring his victory and fulfilling his divine purpose during the 3 mysterious days between the cross and the empty tomb. One interpretation of Ephesians 4:8-10 suggests that Jesus, after securing salvation through his sacrifice on the cross, gathered the redeemed souls who had been in paradise and led them to their eternal home in heaven. Among them were figures like Abraham, David, Joshua, Daniel, Lazarus, the thief on the cross, and others who had been justified by faith. These individuals were led from Hades, the dwelling place of the dead, to their new spiritual abode with God. This act symbolized the completion of his redemptive mission and the fulfillment of God's promises to his people. Another perspective views this passage as highlighting Jesus' victory over spiritual adversaries. During the 3 days between his death and resurrection, he is believed to have defeated Satan, conquered death, and broke the curse of sin. By doing so, he not only reclaimed authority but also paved the way for eternal salvation. His ascension back to heaven, as referenced in Ephesians 4, signifies a victorious return as the triumphant king. Matthew 12:40 also provides a symbolic parallel, for as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of a huge fish, so the Son of Man will be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. This verse suggests that Jesus spent this time in the heart of the earth, completing a divine mission that involved both proclamation and victory. While the exact details of those 3 days remain a mystery, these interpretations offer a profound insight into the significance of this period. Jesus' words to the thief on the cross, "Today you will be with me in paradise," assure us that he indeed entered paradise and completed the work of redemption. This event continues to inspire faith and hope among believers, pointing to the ultimate victory of Christ over death and sin. Thank you for watching and exploring this fascinating topic with us. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Your support helps us continue bringing insightful discussions on biblical truths. God bless you.